Did he push the button?
I don't think so.
I pushed the button.
Of course.
We're good. You are now for 3 whole seconds.
Yay! Well, hi everybody. We're here in our lawn and garden section of our Timberville store, and I don't know if Josh wants to pan around. They've done some fancy construction work back there. That's not panning, Josh.
I know, but I felt really claustrophobic down there, so I figured like get this opportunity to walk away.
Oh, I see how it is. Well, come on back, Josh. They can come in and see it whenever they want.
I bet that was good.
Hope nobody's seasick from Josh's camera work here. Well, what I wanted to talk about today is there's going to be a little hoppy bunny coming around to people's homes this weekend.
Would that be the Easter bunny?
I think so. And I thought, well, if bunnies are coming in our yard, other things are probably coming in our yards
That
too.
is true.
But I wanted to bring something. Ivy's gonna wrangle something out for me.
We got a live prop.
We brought a live animal. Okay. All right, I'll get. I'm not the kindest of animal mommies. But this is Pistachio. She doesn't like me. She likes Ivy much better.
You can hand her off to
Because
Ivy.
I feed her. That's why she doesn't like me. Well, there you go.
I feel like I like the things that feed me.
Yeah.
I know, right? She doesn't like me, though.
There, that's better.
But yeah, there's Miss Pistachio. And it's Easter time. Bunnies. Other things are coming in our yards.
And yesterday was such a great day to be outside. I spent all day working in the lawn, and I really enjoyed myself. And the first thing I want to do this morning is make a clarification on something I talked about on the last Facebook Live. I promoted this product, and I said I was going to use it, and I have. But, you know, I do read directions, contrary to what my wife tells me. I do read the directions, and the one thing I overlooked when I talked about it at the last Facebook Live was this is a pre-emergence crabgrass killer or preventer, and it also helps to prevent the problem weeds like chickweed and henbit and some of the nasty grassy weeds. What I didn't realize last time was you apply it in the spring to prevent your crabgrass. You put it down in the fall to prevent the henbit, the chickweed, and those other grassy weeds, because as I was out working yesterday, I realized pretty quick that those weeds are already growing. So I came back, read the label, did a little more research, went to Scott's website, which is very, very informative, and found out that you use that product in the fall for those nasty grassy weeds, and my daughter just pointed out.
Please tell me in big letters it says fall.
Fairly large letters in the back.
I don't want to embarrass you on live
no.
Facebook, Dad, but
So
I just
enough
had a
said.
bunny attack me, so.
Publicly admitted that I made a mistake last week, but it's still a good product. I put it down. I'm anxious to see how it performs. This is the time of the year that we get bombarded with comments that moles have taken over my lawn. It looks like somebody ran a rototiller through there. How do I get rid of them?
Lots of cats.
Moles are in your lawn because they're feeding on these things right here.
I was hoping you had one.
That's a Japanese beetle grub.
I did not bring a grub with me. I brought one live animal.
I'm sure I could find some. But anyway, the moles are in there moving around, making their tunnels. They're looking for these grubs and they're eating them. There's 2 solutions to that problem. One is a quick fix, short term. The other is a more permanent. This product here can last up to 10 years. This one is an insecticide that gets into the soil, it kills the grubs that are there. Milky spore, on the other hand, is a live virus that infects the grubs that's in the ground, and they spread, and they actually die of natural causes. And then if there's no grubs in there for them to eat, the moles are going to go back out into pasture fields where it's a beneficial process for those moles to aerate the soil for the grasslands and the pastures and that sort of thing. Kill them quick. Use the Grub X. Use triazicide. There's a lot of products that'll kill those soil-bearing insects and grubs and that sort of thing. There's even one over there that's labeled that's safe for a vegetable garden.
So this looks like, the picture on here looks like grubs don't just make moles happen. It kind of destroys your grass a little bit.
Well, it does, because the grubs will actually eat the bottom of the grass roots, and then it'll turn brown on top. And that, the other thing that happens, and you don't hear about it too much in the spring as you do in the fall, but once those tunnels are established by the moles, then you got another little critter, little vermin that'll inhabit the runways, and that's a vole. And a vole looks more like a mouse without a tail. He doesn't look like a mole. A mole has webbed feet that move off to the side. A vole has mouse-like feet, and they just use those tunnels to migrate from one place to another. And the voles will actually chew the roots of plants. They'll eat them, and then that destroys your plant.
That's where your cats come in handy there, Josh. They'll get the voles if they ever come up out of the ground.
No, yeah, my cats leave me a vole like every 2 or 3 days on the front porch. It's great.
That's nice, Josh.
Other critters that
They earn their keep.
Other critters that'll start getting in your lawn, getting in your gardens, and causing damage is, of course, deer and rabbits.
That's why I brought the rabbit.
The rabbit, yep.
Damage.
But anyway, there's various things you can do. There's repellents that you can put out. Put it on the foliage, put it around the perimeter of your garden. This is a liquid. This one's a granular. Josh uses this one at his house around his raised beds. He tells me it works very well until it rains. After it rains, you need to refresh it. Same way with this one. After it rains, you need to refresh it. This one is actually a mole and gopher killer. It's a poison that you put down into the runway. Hopefully the mole or the vole will eat it. If they've got these nice juicy grubs, they're probably not going to eat this one. So it's there if you want to try it. We have mixed reviews on that.
You got something on your shirt. It's distracting me. Sorry.
Oh.
I get distracted by all sorts of things.
Well, that's the other thing that bothers me in the spring is spiders, and undoubtedly that was a spider web at one time, and I walked through it.
See, I wore bright colors today for Easter. I even put on my purple pants. It's kind of hard. It's light purple. But I figured I'd look like an Easter egg.
Well, then this should make you look even brighter.
What about skunks? Is there anything for skunks?
Well, there again, I'm glad you brought that up, Josh, because if you go out in your lawn and you see a cone-shaped hole in your lawn, that was a skunk digging for a grub. Get rid of the grubs, get rid of the skunks.
We also have live traps.
We do.
Or you do like me and you shoot them with a bow. And you make your neighbors hate you.
That's
really not a good idea.
Josh, you bring up some questionable
It wasn't my
behavior.
proudest moment last fall.
This time of the year, we get people coming in saying, man, the birds are just attacking the mirrors on my car. They're attacking the mirrors on my tractor. What can I do to get rid of them? Well, you can use the scarecrow owl with a bobblehead. And the way this thing works is if you put it up on a post somewhere where it's silhouetted against the skyline, the owl's a bird of prey, so the other birds are not going to be they're not going to be around where he's close. They work pretty good. I suggest moving them every so often so they don't get used to it. That's a pretty cool way to deter birds. And back to that pesky rabbit that keeps getting in the garden. This is called rabbit guard. It's a fence that you can put up around your garden. What's neat about this is the holes are pretty close together at the bottom, and as it gets taller, the holes get wider apart. So it's not using as much wire, and it keeps it a little more practical and a little more economical to use.
Those bunnies, they get through anything, though.
It will help keep the rabbits out of your vegetable garden.
That's the best bet.
What else you got, Rachel?
I don't have anything else. I told you to prepare.
Well, that's pretty much, here at
I
Randy's.
thought you would have some Easter jokes.
I didn't know. I don't do
No?
Easter jokes.
No bunny rabbit jokes?
I do
No.
like Cadbury eggs, though.
I know you. I should have brought you one.
Yeah, I do like Cadbury eggs.
Yeah.
No, I
But you
thought
can
I
only-
saw you come up
Oh,
with
I
your
did.
little-
You're right. I had some Easter basket ideas. If you're still running around at the end of the day here going, I need something for an Easter basket. We don't have a huge amount of stuff in the store that a child might like, unless your kids like to play with nuts and bolts. Who knows? They might.
Piece of rope.
Piece of rope, some pulleys. I got that for my kids.
I kept mine busy with a rope and a rag like 3 nights ago.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes it works. But we do have some unique items here in the store that would make for a fantastic Easter basket. We have these cute little hand tools. They're just the right size for children.
See how that fits, Ivy?
She's like, you're gonna make me work with it now?
Yep, it's time to go home and get some work done.
Let's go home and get some work done. But yeah, we've got, what are these? That one's called
That's a little rake.
A little rake, and that one would be a trowel.
Yeah, a little cultivator.
A spade.
Yeah, a little cultivator.
And this is a hand trowel. That's sorry. I got all my words confused.
I like that one. What you think of that? How's that feel? Yeah, I think that'll work.
Yeah, that'll work. You can go home and pick out some of that hen bit in my house. It's all in my flower beds. But we have, I think kids love wildflower seeds. You have a spot in your yard where you can...
Cool wildflower mix over there as well if you have a large space.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it attracts butterflies and hummingbirds.
I'll tell you a little story. Doug that works here, Doug Foley, bought one of the seed starter kits, took it home just to have something to do with his grandkids. They planted the seeds, and I think Doug was as surprised as the kids were how quickly the seeds came up, and the kids were all excited about it, and now they're growing some vegetables and flowers.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So we also have some little children's gloves. We also have, we've got gloves of all sizes, but if you're going for specifically children, we've got kids gloves. We've got a bigger selection in Bridgewater of children's gloves. What? You want to try them on, Ivy? See if they are children's gloves? Go ahead. She's over here yelling, they're not. This is one thing I think kids love. If you are into giving sugar to your kids, they're going to get it anyways this Easter. This is called Bug Barf. It's one of our unique sodas in Shirley's Soda Shop. There's also, dog drool,
and swamp something or other.
Yeah, I was sticking
like
with
a
the
black
theme
soda.
here.
It's
We
kind
got
of weird.
outdoor theme. And then we have these lovely Albanese gummy butterflies. These are some of the best little gummies in the world. But we've got gummy worms and gummy bears and gummy butterflies. So if you're looking for a Easter basket idea, we've got some things here in the store that could help you out. I'm sure some grown-ups would like.
Got a couple questions. They want to know, do we have anything to deter snakes?
Matter of fact, we do. You're right.
He's coming back.
Maybe.
I think those cats again will get rid of the snakes, right?
That's
Because
what the
they'll eat
snakes
the
are for,
mice.
the cats, yeah.
And the mice are what the snakes
If
eat.
there's no mice, there's no snakes. See? Cats.
That's, partially true.
He just doesn't like cats.
Dr. T's Snake Away. I don't know exactly what you call the little tongue that the snake
The
sticks
tongue?
out there.
Their tongue?
Their tongue. Anyway, that's how they identify things. And this product has an odor they just don't
It
like.
definitely has
As a
an
matter
odor.
of fact, I don't like it either, so I wouldn't want to go around. But what you do with this, you put this around the perimeter you want to keep the snakes out of. The one thing I caution everybody is make sure the snake is not inside that perimeter
Trap the
before you
snake
put
in
it
your
down
yard.
because you're going to keep him in there.
Yeah.
So put that down. If it rains on it, freshen it up. We sell a lot of this every year, so undoubtedly it does work.
Yeah. And
And the other thing,
keep your grass
you know,
low, right?
yeah, clean up things around the house. I know wood piles, scrap wood, scrap lumber, that sort of thing is a good hiding place for snakes because that's where the mice are, and that's where the snakes like to go to eat the mice.
The junk pile behind the garage that everybody has. Whit Grandel would also like to know, says it's a little off topic, but when is the best time to dethatch or aerate your lawn?
Dethatch is whenever the lawn is actively growing, which right now we're starting to see it green up, and the dethatcher's been going out on a regular basis. I tell people to dethatch in the spring, aerate in the fall. If you aerate in the spring of the year, some theories say that encourages crabgrass growth. I've heard theories both ways, but I've always been taught, and everything I've read says to dethatch in the spring, aerate in the fall.
Now with the aerator, I know some of the things I've read said to use the plug aerator
Yes,
versus
definitely.
the others because the little spikes can actually compact the soil and
Exactly.
make your soil harder.
Yes, we've got both. The core aerator is by far the most effective because it actually pulls a plug out of the ground. It lets that soil relax and decompact. The spike type aerator, the one advantage it may have is that it does allow for some water penetration that you may not get if you don't do anything, particularly if there's a heavy thatch on the soil.
Is that something you could throw down some of this afterwards and it would be more effective, or is that just not?
It would be effective either way. If there's a heavy thatch, you'd want to dethatch it before you put either one of them down, just so it makes good contact with the soil.
Just for those that don't know, what exactly is thatch?
Thatch is that dead organic material from leftover grass clippings, dead weeds, and once it starts to become, a certain amount of thatch is a good thing. It breaks down, it puts nutrients back in the soil. What happens is if you get a layer of thatch that's 5/8 of an inch thick and it becomes a mat, light can't get through, water can't get through, grass can't grow, the hardiest of weeds will grow, and that's not what you want. So if you remove that, then the soil can breathe, the grass can grow, and the light can get through.
And Meredith Wells asked where the soda shop is. I'm going to spin real quick and count a point. It's over here. This is the magical Shirley Soda Shop, fully stocked, ready to rock and roll. There, Miss Wells.
Yeah. There's a lot of good ones over there. Regularly, Shirley has some in her fridge at home, which I think is why we call it Shirley's Soda Shop. But what I like about it, you can pick 6 for $9 or for $9.99, and it's a huge selection, huge, and they're all the fun sodas that you don't normally get in the 12 packs,
Swamp juice, bug barf, and Dunkin'.
Yeah, ooh.
There's the ones
Some-
we were talking about.
Yeah, you can tell where I stole one out the front. Yeah. Bring up bug barf again. But yeah, I think we're pretty set for today. We
I don't know, you may have noticed as we panned around through there, we are now a Traeger smoker grill dealer.
Only one within 50 miles.
Incredible product.
Is that
We
what-
have the spices, we have the grubs, we have the pellets, and we will soon have the expertise to tell you all about it. Our rep is coming in to do training. I personally own one, and I love it. I've only used it a few times, but
you're doing ribs on Sunday,
I
right?
am doing ribs on Friday.
That's what we're having for Easter dinner. The ribs. We're going a little non-traditional this year, I think.
And remember, here at Randy's, we don't mind your questions. We don't mind them at all.
So long, everybody. Have a happy Easter. Remember, we're closed on Sunday for Easter Sunday. Don't bother us, but have a wonderful Easter.